Ahoy, salty dogs! My name is Lenscap, and welcome to a new series, a brand new series on our channel. We're gonna start a game of Stonehearth. Now, we're gonna try this out and see how it does on the channel. If we get enough views and enough likes and stuff, we'll keep playing this, and yeah, kind of take it from there. So, this game is really fun. It's a little bit different from a lot of the games we play on the channel. Let's go ahead and dive into it while we're talking about this. It's a little bit different than a lot of the games we play on this channel because the first thing you'll notice is that it's adorable. the characters are so cute, and I really like that about this game, but don't judge it already because it can be really challenging. It is a voxely kind of building game, so it does fit with our general motif that we have going with the other games that we like to play on the channel. There's no space in this one, but it's, it's kind of like, it's more of like a town planning building kind of thing than it is like a survival kind of thing. Although you do have to make sure that your town survives and stuff. Now we're gonna play on hard. Speaking of survival, and hard mode in this is really hard. I have tried a couple of times to get a hard mode world going, and I have had a lot of trouble really quickly, so hopefully we can make this work together. Now, because we're playing on hard, I'm gonna take a couple of minutes here and actually roll some characters. Normally, I would just take what it gives us, but I want to make sure that we have the best kind of opportunity that we can, especially right at the start. One thing we can do, though, if you want your name in this, I can rename all these guys. If you want your name in this, obviously I won't put any names in this episode, but leave a comment with your suggestions for names, and I'll try and incorporate those as we use our original 7 citizens and as we gain more citizens. I've got it set so we can have up to 50, so we got plenty of opportunity for you guys to suggest your names. All right, so here's going to be our lineup. We've got some pretty decent rolls here. Let's go over this a little bit. So, everybody has 3 major traits. You've got mind, body, and spirit. Mind basically is how good of a crafter you are. Body is how, affects how much health you have. Health you have and defense and things like that. Spirit determines how good you are with animals, as well as whether or not you're going to run away in a fight. And then, along with that, you also can have these sub-traits as well, like Baxter Jondal here, for example. He gets an animal companion, so it looks like he gets a raccoon, and he's courageous, so he's not going to run away from a fight. So Baxter and Riley are going to be our 2 warriors. Let's make Riley a girl, just for funsies. And I don't really know what this cultist thing does, but we're going to leave it in there. I don't see any problem with that. Iris is going to be our farmer. She's got a passionate farmer modifier. This guy is probably going to be our carpenter. And but anyway, that's kind of our loadout. So let's accept these guys. And now we can kind of pick what we start with. I want to start with the merchant caravan because that gives us a lot of good things to start off with. We get a little bit of food. But mostly I'm looking at this footman. We get a footman right off the bat, as well as a trapper and a herbalist. So I'm happy to get those 3 right off the bat, already going. We're actually one of the very first things we do is craft a second sword for this, because we are playing on hard. We're going to get in a lot of fights. Okay, so let's go ahead and start. Now we can pick our world seed. I actually already have generated, I actually found a seed online that I like, that we're going to use, and it is 42... 590. And I picked this seed because it has a lot of water. It kind of gives me the area that I want to build it in. So you generate your seed and then you kind of pick your playing area out of this. So if we wanted to play over here, we could. Now the highlighted part is the only actual part of the map that we get. So if we pick this, then we don't get this cool lake over here, which I want the lake. I'm going to put my marker right here, because I want it to feel like this is out to the ocean or something. I want to do kind of like a piratey theme, so we're going to build on that little island that was in the middle of that lake. Let's go ahead and let this kind of load and get everything together. And actually, by the time I'm done talking, it probably has already loaded. So yeah, there it goes. Okay, so now we place our banner. We decide where we're going to settle. Let's head over to this little island we picked out, and I want to settle on the island. It doesn't really matter. We can move this anytime, but let's go ahead and just settle our guys, like right here. Seems good. Now we need to name our town. I already have a name for our town. We're going to call it Capopolco. Okay, Capopolco. Now, immediately I'm going to pause the game, and because we want to, before we want to make sure that we can assign our job roles before we get attacked. Being attacked is bad, so let's go ahead and assign our roles. Let's see if we can remember who is who. So this guy is our carpenter. So we want him to be our carpenter. Okay. We had Baxter, this guy. You were a footman. Okay, very nice. We needed... You're our farmer, but we don't have a hoe yet. You have 5 in crafting, so you, Luca, are going to be our herbalist. Our herbalist is kind of like our healer, and eventually they become a cleric and can actually go with our combat party and heal them from afar, so that's why it's important to have a good herbalist right up front. Riley, you are combat, and we need a trapper. Let's pick Navin as our trapper. Alright, so now we've got jobs assigned. Let's go ahead and play. We'll let them pick up our jobs. While they're doing that, I'm going to lay down a stockpile. This is basically where our team can put all of their loot, all the things they harvest and collect and pick up and stuff. We're going to need these flowers, so I'm going to go ahead and move them closer. And the first resource we're going to need to get, though, is some wood. So let's just chop down a bunch of trees here. And we're going to collect some stone as well. These berries we need for food. So I'm just going to give them a bunch of commands right off the bat. Tell them to collect a bunch of this stuff. And so we can start fabricating, I guess, our first couple of buildings. Now that they're collecting, we're getting some wood. Let's go ahead and tell our carpenter to build a workbench. So this carpenter's workbench is what allows the carpenter to actually craft things. And we're going to tell our herbalist to build a workbench as well. Alright, so you can see this guy made his workbench. So we can pick up his workbench. And let's place it down here. And so he's going to place down that workbench. And then we can get started on kind of trying to level up our carpenter real quick. So that he can get some assets and some things going. We've also got the herbalist lab already made, so we'll go ahead and place that down. Now for the herbalist lab to actually do anything, we need these flowers. So we're going to have to harvest these flowers. There aren't but 2 flowers on the island at first, so that's no good. We're going to have to get a farmer quickly so we can get flowers quickly. Now to get a farmer, we need a level 2 carpenter. Basically, the carpenter makes a farmer's hoe, and then you can assign somebody to be a farmer once you have the hoe. But before we can do that, we gotta level up our carpenter. So let's go ahead and start leveling this guy up. Basically, you level up by building things. So we're gonna tell him to maintain 2 of these small crates at all times, and we're gonna tell him to maintain some furniture at all times. One thing that I've changed in the settings is that I've got it so that as we build a house, he'll automatically craft the building parts that we need. Doors, windows, signs, that kind of stuff. Some of these things we're going to have him maintain so that we keep some in our stockpile at all times. But for the most part, the building materials, we're just going to let him build them as we need them. A grizzled traveler approaches. Okay, he's giving us some stuff. Cool, so we'll take his stuff, and our carpenter has already leveled up. That's awesome. So let's go ahead and see what new things he can build. We can go ahead and make our second practice sword, so we can go ahead and promote our other knight, or footman, rather. A knight is another class for later. So we'll have him make a sword. We can also make these large crates now, so we'll tell him to maintain 2 of those. And I'm just going to push those higher up on the queue. He can make a wall-mounted sign. We're going to maintain one of those, because as we work later, we're going to need the signs for... They're decorative things, but you know me, I like my decorative things. These are wall-mounted lanterns, so we're going to have him maintain some of those as well. And gates, fence gates. You'll need to maintain 2 fence gates, and we're going to tell him to maintain 20 pieces of fence, because I really like to use the picket fence. Okay, for furniture, let's maintain one of these chairs. Let's maintain one of these, a dresser, park bench, and a writing desk. We'll use these to decorate like the inside of people's homes. We can also make 2 shields, one for each footman. And by now he should have crafted that sword. Yeah, he has. So now we can go find who our other footman was, Riley, and change Riley into a footman as well. So now we've got 2 footmen. We want to be careful that we don't assign too many people jobs. We want to keep at least 2 workers. At least, and preferably we have 4, but starting off, we don't really have the population to have 4 workers just yet. Cool, so they're going, this guy, the herbalist, we want him to maintain 10 tonics. Now, he only has 1 flower, though, so we can't really do anything there. So, really, right now, all we can do... I mean, we could start crafting and building and designing houses, but I think before we get to that, I want to make sure we have a farmer. And now we're carpenter level 2, so that's perfect. Well, good timing. We can go ahead and tell him to craft a farmer's hoe. And do we have any other things that we need to maintain? I think we're good, at least for a while now. This other workbench we can make as well. This is just a better workbench, it looks better. So, cool. I'm going to let him kind of catch up on all these things we've told him to do. We'll let our workers kind of harvest all the stuff, and we'll come back once we've got a little bit of progress made. So while our carpenter's working, I think it's a good idea for us to build a bridge from our island to like the mainland here. I found some flowers out in this big field area in the dark, which is kind of like a fog of war. But our Hearthlings don't seem to be able to go get them. I assume they can't swim, or at least not well. So we're going to need to build a bridge from our island to the mainland, and I think we'll probably have 2. We'll put one here on this side, and probably one up here. That way we can build a mine into the mountains up here. And we'll build one over here to be able to get to kind of this big field area. There's some berries over here if we need them, and lots of trees and stuff. So let's collect these trees over here and get them out of the way. I don't want to clear cut the island just yet. This is fine, but we'll need to get some more trees growing. Eventually our farmer can grow trees. Which, speaking of, we don't have the farmer yet. Our carpenter hasn't built his hoe yet, so we're still working on that. Okay, so let's start building. We want to design a building. Now, a bridge is an interesting thing, and I honestly am not certain that the Hearthlings can build a bridge. So we may have to cheat this bridge in. I hate to cheat in the first episode, but it's still an alpha, so not everything is possible. Okay, but we're going to build a bridge. I think we'll do... Let's just do a basic bridge. We're only going to use materials that we definitely have, just in case we do have to cheat something in. So let's make our bridge 3 blocks wide and spanning the width of the river. So that's our bridge. Oh, you know what? Invaders are approaching. Let's pause and find these invaders. Looks like we've got a single intling. Oh, he's a little stumpy guy. Okay. Oh, actually there are a couple. Oh, there's a lot of them. Okay, so there are like 7. Good thing we've got our footmen handy, and we made 2 to get ready with. So let's go ahead and play this out. Here are our footmen. Here's Baxter, and here's Riley. We're gonna go ahead and take these guys on. I have no doubt in my mind that they can take out these 7 intlings. But it looks like they are going to take some damage. Now, the way they're going to heal is by sleeping in our bed. Right now, is only one bed, but I've got the carpenter maintaining one in the stockpile, so every time I place down a bed, he'll go and try and make another one, so he can just keep placing beds. The beds are more effective as you get, like, better beds, obviously, and if they're under a roof, but obviously we don't have any roofs yet, so we'll just do as we can. And place the beds as we make them. Okay, let's get back to this bridge, though. That crisis was quickly averted. Now, I want to place our bridge, like... Let's do it out of regular blocks, because I kind of want it raised out of the water a little bit. So let's do 3, and spanning the river. I want these blocks. Daily update. Okay, so we get an update every day, which kind of judges our town based on how much food they have and how expensive the town is, the net worth of the town. And once we meet both of those requirements, we get a new citizen. We didn't meet it this time. I didn't expect to meet it this time. I don't know if we'll meet it even next time either. But this bridge will certainly help. So I'm just using the regular blocks for now. I'm going to design an interesting looking bridge, and then we'll see if our Hearthlings can build it. I don't know if they're going to be able to. Cool, so I've got a little bit of a bridge going. I'm just placing the last handful of blocks here. I think it's a decent little bridge. It's kind of like, got some stone supports and some wood kind of decking. I think this will do fine for our bridge into our town. It looks a little bit medievally and kind of interesting. Okay, let's go ahead and see if finished editing. It's only going to take us 4 stone and 2 logs. We definitely have that. So let's go ahead and hit build. We'll hit start building. Now it's going to try and calculate how they're going to build it. And they should spring right into action if they can, but it doesn't look like anybody's building anything right now. They would just run over there and start working on it if they could. But I do notice that we have a sparkly farmer's hoe right here. So let's go ahead and assign our farmer. And Iris, you're our farmer. So let's go ahead and change your job. We'll make you the farmer. And now we can get some farms going. Well, as soon as she turns into actually a farmer. Alright. So now we have a farmer. So let's get some farms going. We need to level up our farmer so that she can learn more crops. Really what we want are these Bright Bell and Frost Snap flowers. But also, obviously this is going to be good for getting our Hearthlings some food as well. So we're going to start with some turnips. We're going to do 3 turnips. We're going to do 3 rows of carrots. And we're probably only going to do 2 rows of pumpkins. We don't have a huge population right now. You can make the farms differently. Like, you could make them like a big plot like this. But as far as I understand, when you do that, it doesn't, like, separate the vegetables correctly or something. And, yeah, like, you can see if she's only doing every other one instead of every single one. And I just don't want that to happen, so. But we'll let this be for now. That's fine for the pumpkins. And I don't think they're going to build this bridge, so we're going to cheat a little bit and use the console. You do Control-Shift-C to pull up the console. We've got it selected. We're going to do the command IB, which is short for Insta-Build. And that builds our bridge. I feel kind of cheaty. I don't really like using the console, so we're not going to do it very often. The only reason we used it here is because the Hearthlings literally could not build this structure. But now that it's here, we should see them gathering the things on this side, maybe? Here, let's give them a new command and see if they'll start doing stuff. Yeah, there we go. Our herbalist is... No? Are workers going? No? I don't know. Maybe it's break time for these guys. Yeah, it looks like it's break time, so they're all eating. Alright, well, let's make sure this bridge works. Oh, invaders. Okay, who we got this time? Let's pause. So now we've got some stonelings. Looks like we can take them out. Alright, let's grab our warriors and see where they are. Come on, you guys are sitting down. We're getting attacked. Alright, let's tell him to attack. Let's tell him to get the first guy. And then we'll unpause it. Alright. Victory at last. Luca Woolden. Looks like he decided to come pick flowers for us. So it does indeed. They are able to go across the bridge and collect things. They just don't have the motivation right now for whatever reason. But good old Luca doing his job as the herbalist, picking flowers for us. Alright, well guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you like Stonehearth, if you think we should do an extended series of this, definitely let me know in the comments. Throw some likes on the video. That's how I'm going to determine whether or not we keep playing this once it's all said and done. Is kind of like how many likes it gets consistently. So if you really like the series, make sure you thumbs up, and we'll see you guys next time. Stay tuned.